back so soon as well. But we've got a great guest
Hello,
on.
hello, everybody.
We've got a great guest coming on tonight, haven't we, Gareth? I know you've
Well,
known him for a long time.
yeah, we certainly have. We've got Peter April coming on here. I've known him for many, many years. An absolute legend, a veteran. Anyone that don't know this guy, you may as well switch off now because he's known everywhere. And I really like this guy. I spent time with him, and I just recently caught up with him at the Matchroom event in Lugo last year, and I've stayed in touch with him. And he's on the end of the line to tell us some great stories.
Yeah, well, let's get him in without further ado. Let's just do that, and then we'll hear all about it. There we go. Peter, thanks for coming on.
How are you?
Well, yeah.
Hello,
brilliant.
Pete. How you doing,
Yeah.
mate? Good to see you, mate.
Yeah, you too. You too. Don't see you very often, but here we are again.
Well, we certainly are, mate. And so, Pete, I know it was short notice to get you on, but thanks so much for coming on here, mate. You know, and
okay.
I just in the introduction, I said anyone that doesn't know you may as well switch off now because you're an absolute legend. You're an absolute legend. The name's a legend of the sport, and I can't believe that we've actually got you here. So I want to dig into your mind as we go forward.
Yeah, well, let's see what I can remember. Getting too old now for all this.
Well, you're only late 60s, Pete. What's the matter with you?
Yeah. I wish. Anyway.
Well, you're looking good, Pete, for however old you are, anyway. But yeah, no, I'm interested as well. I mean, Gareth told me. I mean, obviously know who you are, but Gareth told me a lot of stories as well. Yeah, I can't wait to get stuck in. Really, I mean, Gareth, kick us off here. I know you
Well,
got
yeah,
some great
absolutely.
questions.
Well, Pete, I think we should start off as me and you met over 20 years ago through a mutual friend at the time, and that was Doug Gordon.
Exactly.
And Doug's no longer with us, mate. And why don't you start us off, Pete? Because like we can go back to the 1990s here, mate. Why don't you start us off? And for those that don't know you, Pete, introduce yourself and tell us how you got into the American pools and where it all started, mate.
Well, yeah, it's a funny story actually because I came to Spain in 1989. I had a little bar restaurant which we ran for a few years, and then after work, I often used to go to another pub or another bar, and I used to play electronic darts, which was a big sport in Spain and still is. Major tournaments, both in Spain and internationally. So anyway, I was playing darts I think it was Monday night, I think was my day off, and whenever I could. So my first year, I qualified to go and play in Las Vegas with the Spanish team. And that was 1990, 1991. So I've gone out there with the Spanish team, and I was useful because I spoke English and nobody else did. So that was a big
You speak Spanish? That's the question. Have you learned any Spanish, Pete, in 30 years?
I've learned a bit, yeah, learned a bit.
Yeah, sorry, mate.
So anyway, we had a great time in Vegas, and then the following year, the Spanish organisation phoned me and said, "Would I like to go again and captain the Spanish side?" So I said, "Yeah, sure, why not? A free trip to Las Vegas, you're not going to say no, are you?"
Absolutely.
So anyway, I'm out there and I'm sharing a room with a guy who actually lives not far from me. And I said to him, "Where do you play? Where do you play darts?" And he explained in Fuengirola, which is where I now live. So I said, "Oh, I'll come and see you one day." So I went to see him playing darts, and it was in a club that had, about 20 pool tables, mainly 7 foot, because that was the big thing in those days, and just a few 9-foot tables. So anyway, I played darts there regularly, joined the team, and we played in all the leagues and tournaments. And then 1995, I had to have heart surgery for the second time, because I'd had it originally in 1981 when I had a heart attack. So anyway, 1995, I gave up darts because having my chest split open, I couldn't do the action, the throwing. So I thought I'll have a try at the American pool. So yeah, did that. So I got myself into a team in the local league and had fun, and I loved it. So anyway, I just played for a few years, and then 1999, I don't know if you were there, Gareth, but they had the World Championships in Spain. Well, they had 2 World Championships that year, one in Cardiff which I think was won by Efren Reyes, and one in which was won by Nick Varner. Well, while I was there, I met the legend Doug Gordon, who everybody knows or knew.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Sadly, Doug died 2 years ago, 2022. But very quickly, we became great friends. So we used to chat a lot. And at the time, Doug was organising qualifying tournaments for the World Championships. Matchroom had given him a few spots, about 10 if I remember rightly. And every time there was a World Championships, he was organising these qualifying tournaments. So people were coming from all over the world. Anyway, I helped him out on these. And he also worked with a lady called Brenda Smith, who you, of course, will know.
Absolutely,
so anyway,
Brenda.
Yeah. So
that's a name from the pub.
Yeah. So I think for 4 years we were doing it in Cardiff, and then where did we go after Cardiff? Oh, we went to Taiwan, and so we're doing our little qualifying tournaments in Taiwan, and after that we went to the Philippines. So I moved around with Doug. We got on great, Doug and I. And poor old Doug, he suffered from Parkinson's, as you know, for many, many years.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, say 2 years ago, he died. That's how I got involved in the game for a start.
Yeah.
So while I'm doing all this, the Spanish, in the year 2000, they started up a new organization called the Spanish Confederation of Pool. And the idea was to try and unify the sport throughout Spain because it was pretty fragmented in those days and everybody was doing their own thing. So I got roped on board as the English speaker and obviously the contact man for anybody who wasn't Spanish. And then, of course, I got onto we had a great team organising the sport, massive tournaments. I mean, we have tournaments with 600-700 players in.
That's right.
We started hosting the Euro Tour. Now, what year was that? It was early 2000s. And so what we did, we had the Euro Tour in December, which was a great time for us because the weather's great in Spain. And so we attracted always the maximum field. 256 players played the Euro Tour. So after that, we organised our own, what we called our anniversary tournament. So lots of the players would stay on to play the anniversary tournament. And in that, we would have had probably started off with about 600 players, got it down to 100.
Those. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you would. I mean, a lot of the guys came over for that, And so what shall I say? So I got involved in that. And of course, I was the go-to guy if there was any foreigners involved. So where are we now? We're probably up to about 2005, 2006, I suppose. But while I was involved in local tournaments, national tournaments, I was getting involved in the other ones with Doug, which was great. And we had a great time traveling all over the world. So anyway, I got very keen on the sport and I thought, well, I need to learn the rules because not many players know the rules, you know that. And there's all sorts of examples of that.
Well, we had Thingy on the other day, and we were talking about that. I mean, some of the rules he was telling us about, I didn't even know. He was talking about giving players cards and all sorts, and all different things. I mean,
well, I think when people started to play pool, they didn't bother to read the rules because the rule book is big. There's, I don't know how many pages there are. There's about 40 foolscap pages of all the different 8-ball, 9-ball, 10-ball, and so on, wheelchairs and goodness me. So anyway, I studied this because I was really keen on rules. So I ended up studying with the Billiards Congress of America, the BCA, and I took the exam and passed it. So I went over to Las Vegas to do the practical stuff, So I'm refereeing in Las Vegas in these rooms with about 200 tables. My goodness, that's hard. That's hard on your feet walking up and down these carpets.
Oh, it's amazing, isn't it, Pete?
Oh, so anyway, I qualified as a BCA referee, which I was the only one in Spain at the time. So that led on to me giving classes in Spain. So I travelled all over the country giving referee classes because we didn't have any referees. So now, and we still have them, they're still operating, some of the guys I trained. So even today, I get phone calls and WhatsApps asking for an interpretation of the rules. And I'm absolutely convinced that 95% of the players have never, ever read the rules. It's what they've picked up as they went along, you know.
Yeah.
They start to play pool, they pot a few balls, they learn how to put the wide in position, etc., but they don't know the fine details of the rules. So I get loads of queries. I had a funny one a few years ago. A query came through from a tournament in Cyprus via Big Dave, who you know.
Yeah, Big Dave.
Yeah, and Big Dave phoned me. They wanted an interpretation of a rule. So I was able to help out there. So there we are. I'm now a qualified referee. So my first big job was in 2006 when I refereed World 8-Ball Championships in the United Arab Emirates. I don't know whether you were there, but
no, I've not been out there.
Yeah, I was helping out Michaela, who was the big ref in those days, and that was won by a young kid, Wu Chia Ching.
Oh, okay.
He was 17 years old when he won that,
Yeah.
but a few months earlier he was 16 years old and he won the World 9-Ball Championships. So,
unbelievable, isn't it, Pete?
It's incredible, you know. And looking back, I mean, I've got some fantastic memories. And through these trips abroad, I got to know so many people from all over the world. I know quite a lot of Filipinos, and I've been to Philippines quite a lot, and I got to know Django very well, and Efren, all these guys, Rodolfo Luat, Kiampo, and I never actually did any refereeing over there, but I played plenty of pool with Django Bustamante, and I still could if I could go, but I don't travel much these days because it's really hard getting health insurance when you get to my age and you've got my history. So,
yeah, sure.
Anyway, where are we now? Done my refereeing bit. We used to have two major tournaments in Spain, one in the Costa del Sol, where I live. That was in December. And then we had another one in Galicia, place like Lugo or Vigo, those places, where we would have anything up to 1,000 players. In fact, they've just had this last 2 weekends, they've had their individual tournaments for the region. It's like a county. They call them communities over here.
Is that on 7-foot tables, Pete?
Sorry?
Is that on bar table, 7-footers?
Yeah, that mainly 7-footers, yeah. But they have 1,000 players.
Phenomenal.
You get 1,000 players at all different levels. They categorize them. So they have like first division players, second division A, second division B, third division. They have seniors, juniors, females, they have all sorts. But they put together 1,000 players. They set up about 40 tables in the arena. In fact, when you're in Lugo, the room at the other side of that building, I don't know if you went in there, they had a load of 7-foot tables set up there. I think that was for a team tournament or something. But,
no, I didn't go in there.
You didn't go in there?
No, I didn't, mate. No. Is that what? Because when you were there, Pete, is that what you were there for, or was you there specifically for the 9-ball?
No, I went for the 9-ball and the World Cup and the Spanish Open.
Yeah, right, gotcha. Okay,
I was a guest. You might have seen my private car park outside the main door. There was a sign up, Peter April's parking.
Yeah, why everyone else out walking and struggle for parking?
The trouble is, I can't walk so far these days. You know, what with the health problems.
Yeah, sure.
Not only the heart, but the lungs as well. So I drive everywhere, and people look after me. They look after me. I go to the club in Malaga every day, and I walk in the door, and the waitress should take my cues and my balls to the table for me and bring the coffee over, whatever.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, so it's a great life. Yeah. So, no, you wouldn't have been there. I think in 2009, we had a big tournament. We invited a few players like Django, like Efren, like Oscar Dominguez. I think Ronnie, what's his name? The Rocket. Oh God.
Okay, no.
No,
Ronnie
the
O'Sullivan. Ronnie
American guy.
O'Sullivan.
No, funny enough, Ronnie O'Sullivan. I was in the first World Cup of pool in Newport, South Wales. That was in 2006.
Rodney Morris. Rodney Morris.
Rodney Morris, that's who I'm thinking about. Yeah, yeah. If I just go back to 2006, they had the first World Cup of pool in Newport, and the English side was Raj Hundal and Ronnie O'Sullivan. And I'm glad to say they played the Spanish team and lost. so, so, so the Spanish players were really pleased to beat a world name like Ronnie.
Yeah, sure.
Didn't know a lot about pool, so Raj was having to coach him. I'm trying to think back, so I came across Raj somewhere else. I was asked to take a team to Cyprus for an invitational tournament. When was that? That was 2002, 2003. And the Northern Cyprus Federation organised an international tournament by invitation. So they invited a team from Spain, and I was in charge of that, and they invited one from the UK. And I tell you who was that. That was Raj and Anthony Ginn. They were the British reps. And if
All right, yeah.
I'm not sure if I remember rightly, they may have won the tournament in the end. They certainly beat Spain. And the Spanish players were David Alcaide, who everybody knows, and another chap called Carlos Cabello, who's not playing at the moment.
I wonder what happened to Carlos. Is he okay or?
No, he's disappeared. He's I don't know whether he had some money problems or something. Anyway, he's just off the scene altogether. Nobody's seen him for a couple of years. I mean, he's still around. But going back to that Cyprus tour, I know I'm going backwards and forwards.
That's fine, mate. It's all yours, mate. Floor's yours.
But in Cyprus, I was in Cyprus in 1950. 58, 59. I was in the Air Force doing military service, which we all had to do in those days. So I was posted to Cyprus. Anyway, I had my 21st birthday in Cyprus. So when we were back there in 2000, did I say what I was? 2002 it was. So I'm talking to some of the Cypriot players, and I said, I have my 21st birthday here, and I'm having now my 65th birthday. So it's exactly that was in October 2002. So I had my 65th birthday. So anyway, we had a great tournament, had fun. They looked after us really well. Hospitality was fine. We had a celebration dinner at the end of it. So we finished dinner, and they called me up to the stage. And I said, what's this all about? So anyway, they started singing Happy Birthday and gave me a load of presents. So I got all these gifts from the North Cyprus Federation. So they were really fantastic people, yeah. So yeah, that was that. So anyway, that was 2000 and, as I say, 2002. Where did we go then? Oh yeah, when we organised, when we had this new federation or confederation, it was called, we started working with the BCA in their leagues to send players from Spain to Las Vegas. Of course, who got the job of organising it all? I did.
I was going to say, I wonder who.
I've got 3 trips to Vegas every year. And all I had to do was really organise the leagues on our end, and then organise travel and hotels and etc. It used to take 25, 30 players. They'd all qualified through tournaments in Spain. So they all got 3 trips to Vegas. And that went on for, oh God, I can't remember how many years I did that. Certainly 8 or 9 years, I would think. So I got to know Vegas pretty well. And let me think. Yeah. 2000. Were you here in 2006? We had World Games in Seville. A lot of British players came over for that.
Yeah, I think I don't think. No, I wasn't in Seville, but there was a couple of places in Spain that I came to.
Yeah, no,
Back
Seville was,
around that era.
yeah, Seville was special because we had it's a massive centre. We had 100 tables of all sorts. We had 16 9-foot tables. We had 70 7-foot tables. We had 8 carom tables. We had 2 snooker tables. And in fact, we got Tony Drago and Imran Majid to do some snooker exhibition stuff for us while they were there. But loads of the Brits came. As well, I met a lot of Brits, people like Darren Appleton, etc. In fact,
Yeah.
I seem to remember having to give him a warning for his behaviour because in those days he was a bit of a naughty boy. And
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
he used to lose his temper a lot. He's a bit more tranquilo now, as they say. I can't even remember who won that. But yeah, that was a great tournament. I don't know how many players there were, but we were holding the World Championship. I don't know if you know what 5 pins are. It's a carom game where they have 5 little poles in the middle of the table.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah,
Isn't that
so we
what
had the
Fabio
World
Petroni
Championship.
said he kept they play over there all the time?
Yeah,
Gareth?
it's big in Italy, I think, isn't it, Pete?
The what?
It's quite big in Italy, that game, isn't it?
Yeah, carom's a big game in Europe. I mean, it's not in England, I know, but Spain it's very big, and France and that. In fact, one of the best players in the world is Spanish, Danny Sanchez. He's been world champion a few times. So anyway, where are we? I don't know now. I've lost track.
2006 is Seville, Spain, Pete.
Yeah, that was this massive tournament. I was on the pool side of it, on the organising team there. We had a great team. There were about 6 of us who did all that. They've all faded away. I'm the only one left, really, from those days. And funny enough, I'm the oldest of the lot. The others are all younger, and they're either doing other things. Well, one, a girl, Lydia, she concentrates on darts because the electronic darts is big here. They have massive tournaments. Just had a big international tournament. People come from all over, come from America, from all over Europe.
I mean, I've watched that game, but don't they don't bother going for treble 20s? So they just go for the bullseye for the main score all the time in that game?
Well, it depends what you're playing. I mean, if you're playing like 501, for example, the easiest target is the bull, which scores 50 all the time. It's not like normal darts where people go for triple 20. So, I learned this the hard way when I first started playing because I'm playing triple 20 all the time, and
everyone's looking at you thinking, "What's this guy doing?"
And everybody else are going for the centre. I think, what's this all about? So I soon caught on, and as I say, I qualified a couple of times to go to Las Vegas.
Was it like Jim Bowen? What's his name? In one.
I remember one tournament we had over here, and who was it? A couple of the British players. It might have been Carl Boys and possibly Raj. One of them's throwing the dart at the board, and the other one's standing by the board and catching the dart before it actually hits the board. That's quite funny. I think it might have been Carl and Raj. I can't remember exactly because it's a long time ago. But yeah. So anyway, I got to travel all over the world. I've been to so many world championships. I've lost count. I was at the first World Cup of Pool in Cardiff. I was at the first World 10 Ball Championships in Philippines. That was 2008. Darren won that, beat Wu Chia Ching in the final. As I say, I was refereeing in 2005 when Wu Chia Ching beat Nick Vandenberg. So I was in Alicante for Nick Varner's victory. I was in Cardiff for 4 years in a row. Fong Pan Chao won 1, Mika won 1, Strickland won 1, Thorsten won 1. And that was funny. Thorsten beat Alex Pagulayan. And the following year in Taiwan, Alex Pagulayan won it. So I was there for that as well. And I was there in Philippines when Ronnie Elcano won it. And then when Daryl won it, Daryl Peach, that'd be about 2007. I was there for that. So I used to love traveling to all these tournaments. Of course, I'm traveling David Al-Qaeda in those days, because in those days David didn't have a word of English. So I used to organise his trips. Used to book hotels, and we used to travel together. Of course, these days he speaks reasonable English, and he doesn't need me. I was his unpaid translator, unpaid travel agent. That's the story of my life. Unpaid for everything. Yeah. So then I helped him out. Along came young Francisco Sanchez, who everybody knows now. Another great player. So I helped them out for a while. And David and Fran have played the World Cup of Pool together a few times now. Yeah, and that's how I got to know everybody through these journeys. America, I got to know loads of people over there.
Well, we got go on. Sorry, Pete. Go on, mate.
No, I'm trying to think what else I can tell you. I'm still organising tournaments, but only at a local level. In Malaga, I organise tournaments in Malaga. We have every month we have a tournament. We have one on 9-foot tables and one on 7-foot tables at the same time, but they're limited. We have 72 players, and that's the limit. It takes place in one day, so I do that. In December, we have another tournament which was named after me. It's called April in December, funny enough. Some funny guy thought up the name and it stuck.
That's great.
I didn't really want it, but that's what they did.
Well, at least you got a tournament organised while you're alive, Pete, in honour.
But the latest is a tournament we're going to have in the end of October. It's going to be called the April Cup, just like the Mosconi Cup. It'll be based on the same format, etc. It's going to be Andalusia, which is the south of Spain, against Galicia, which is the north of Spain. And this will be the first of many. So the April Cup starts in October.
That's a good idea, that, isn't it?
So we've down the south here, we've been running qualifying tournaments to pick the team. So that just finished last month. So I've got the team already. In Galicia, they're still running their qualifiers to pick their team. But they're nearly ready. They've got 2 more matches to play, and then they've got their team. So we're travelling up to Galicia in October for a few days. Hopefully,
is Al-Qaeda and Ruiz going to play in them? Are you going to have like Ruiz and Al-Qaeda playing in them, Peter, or is it just a different kind of level of player? Or
no, hopefully, if all goes well, David will play for my team.
Getting in the ringers.
The reason being, he comes from Malaga, although he doesn't live here now. And Fran Sanchez is going to play for the other team. So we're going to have 2 pros. And funny enough, the people who qualified from our part of the world, Malaga, 3 of them grew up with David Al-Qaeda. I mean, they were all playing when they were teenagers, and even younger. David was 10 years old when he started to get really good. So it'll be like a reunion for them. Although we did have a reunion last year when David got married. We all went to his wedding. But yeah, that's fun. So that's the April Cup, not the Mosconi. You can forget the Mosconi.
That's quality.
Yeah, I love Mosconi. I went to the Mosconi Cup in Malta. That was good too. Because I got to know Tony very well over the years, both in England and on our travels. So went over there for their thing. What else? As I say, I have I have a major tournament in May, one in September, and one in December, and then one every month, plus other smaller ones, which which I love. Some I play in if I got if there's a vacant spot, but otherwise I'm just sat on the tournament desk, organising everybody. You should come over to my tournament in September. Yeah.
Well, yeah, why not, Pete? I tell you what, do you know what? I will. How's that? I will. Count me in for that.
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, absolutely. It'd be my honour to come over there, mate. Absolutely. Yeah, we'll talk about that a bit later on.
Yeah. That's last weekend of September, actually.
How many entrants are you going to get in that, Peter, do you think?
I'm sorry?
How many people will you have playing in that tournament?
Oh, it's limited to 64 on the 9-foot tables, and then we have another 48 on 7-foot tables. But it's a 2-day thing. So what we do, we have 2 groups of 32, and they play like a knockout till there's 8 left in each group.
Yeah.
And the 8 left play the next day in the final.
I'm just thinking I might have to come over as well with Gareth and.
Yeah, cool. Do you play?
Is there any team? Oh well, I'll play a little bit. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's yet to beat me, Pete. He gives it all the mouth to give me a handicap, and that, but he's yet to beat me.
He knows who's the boss.
It's not massive prize money. It's 1,500 first prize. No, but
oh no, I mean it sounds like a good thing, to be honest.
It's a good weekend.
Is there any doubles or anything involved in that tournament, or is it all just singles? Or
the what?
Is there any doubles involvement?
Well,
in
there
that,
is, but there's only 16 pairs, and that's full already.
Oh, they are.
Yeah,
We'll have to wait for a drop. We'll have to have a drop out then, Gareth, and enter that one, mate.
Well, it could happen. You don't know. I'm waiting for somebody to confirm a spot actually, but I just signed up 2 players today, which was the last spot I had. So you used to have 32 pairs.
Yeah.
But it was going on till sort of 2 o'clock in the morning, and then they had to play again at 10 the next morning. So this year we decided to cut it down to 16 pairs. So we'll be over by midnight, and people can get a night's sleep if they want it. You know, they don't always want it. A lot of them will stay in the club playing half the night. You know. Yeah, no, it'd be great if you could come over. It'd be fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll certainly talk. We'll certainly talk to you about that, Pete. So yeah, we'll. I'll certainly be up for it anyway.
I'm sorry.
I'll certainly be up for it, Pete. I'll definitely.
Yeah,
but Pete, there's quite. I just wanted to. Is there anything else you want to add on? Because there's a couple of things I want to talk to you about. One being Lugo, where I saw you. But you carry on for a minute, mate.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Well, if you've got anything to jog my memory, do so. Yeah.
Well, I spoke. Yeah, go on, Pete. Go on.
Picture, haven't we, Gareth from Lugo? Look. Of the.
That's blank. I can't see it. Oh, there we go. Look.
Yeah.
Well, look at that. Look at that.
That was you organising that photo.
That's right, mate. That's right. Well, everyone there knew who you were, Pete, and I thought it was absolutely relevant pulling them together. You know, because like I say, everyone wanted to shake your hand and being involved with you. So it was just the right thing to do to pull these guys together.
Yeah,
and that was in Lugo last year at the Matchroom event. So look at you, Pete. Look, we were all walking around with little rubber bands around our wrists, and look at that, you got a bloody VIP sticker around your neck.
Yeah, but you've got bands because you're a player. Yeah. I'm not good enough for that.
Well, so Pete, no, neither am I, Pete. I'll have to find out how you get one of them, mate.
Well, I'll give you one. I've got a spare one somewhere around.
Quality, I like it. So Pete, so how did you get into like snooker and things like that? Because I know that you played a bit of snooker in the UK before you moved to Spain, didn't you? So you've had a bit of a history with cue sports.
Well, that is funny because I worked in a university in London, and I was responsible for the catering in the university. And in one of the catering areas, I had a snooker table. So I used to have a couple of hours snooker every lunchtime with a couple.
And what was this, Pete? Was this early 80s or what, Pete?
No. I mean, it's just for fun, you know. We just passed a couple of hours. We just enjoyed ourselves, you know. But I was never big into snooker, and we got a couple of tables in our club, but it's not massive. There's only 8 or 9 people who play regularly, you know. But I don't know. Pool is pretty popular. It's not like it used to be. The confederation that I spoke about broke up. Oh, let me see. When did that break up? About 10 years ago, I'd say, about 2014. Broke up for lack of funding, really, because it was an expensive thing to run.
Yeah.
How Spain was set up years ago, when I came here, there were people around the country who were operators. They had tables which they put into bars and clubs on a profit share business. So these guys all got together and put in a considerable amount of money to start off the confederation. And that went on for, as I say, about 10 years, I suppose.
Yeah.
And with those, then we managed to host the Euro Tour. But the Euro Tour got really expensive. I mean, we were paying a lot of money to them to come over and have a tournament. And we didn't make any money. I mean, people could see the best players in Europe. They didn't have to pay for it. I mean, it wasn't our policy to make money out of it. So the costs went up and up and up. I mean, it started off probably about 12 grand a year, and it's got up to sort of 17, 18. And year after year, it was a lot of money to lose.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So unfortunately, eventually the Confederation split up and people started to go their own way again. Excuse me.
So what have they got? What have they got going over there at the moment? Then, so what's the organisation has anything birthed out of it?
There isn't really a central organisation. The Royal Federation of Billiards, Royal Spanish Federation of Billiards, is chiefly interested in carom, not pool. They do organise about 6 small tournaments a year for pool. But when I say organise, they don't actually do it. The clubs that hold the tournaments are the ones that do the organising. And it's a bit like WPA, you know, they want to put their name on it, but they don't want to do any work, you know. So, well, it's true, isn't it? I mean, you know, WPA never organised anything. It's all organised by, in Europe, it might be organised by the EPBF or whatever. But no, they just want to take their sanction fee. I mean, it's another story. I don't really want to go into that. They just want to take their sanction fee and do very little for it, except to put their name on the end of it. Well, Matchroom have got their number now, haven't they? So, excuse me, I need a drink.
Yeah, you go for it, mate. Yeah.
Going hoarse.
What's that? Is that a beer in hiding in the bottle?
Yeah, no, that's what's it? Cass lemon, great.
Quality.
Very refreshing. I normally drink what they call tinto de verano in the summer. It's wine mixed with it's a bit like a soda, but a sweet soda. So that's my favourite drink when I'm playing pool on a summer afternoon, because it's very refreshing and not very alcoholic. So I had a couple of hours this afternoon playing 10 ball. That was great.
Oh, did you?
Oh yeah, I go at least 5 days a week to play, and sometimes 6 days a week, 7 days a week. Depends if I've got anything else to do. Yeah, it gets me out the house, keeps me off the streets, and
that's brilliant, Pete. So what, like moving forward, Pete? Have you got any, apart from the tournaments you got going on in Spain and that you spoke about? Is there any sort of, like, because I saw you recently, I think it was November. I think no. When did I see it? It might be February in Tallinn. Was it in Italy? Tallinn, wasn't it?
Oh, that one, yeah, the Italian Open, yeah.
Yeah, I just saw you recently, and I was like, Jesus Christ, you say you don't travel, but you're blooming up. You're out in the Italian Open.
Yeah, why did I go there? I just fancied a break, and I said to the wife, "Do you fancy a week in Italy?" So yeah, we went over there. Funny enough, I'm going over again in October. My daughter, who lives in the States, she wants to go to Italy for a couple of weeks, so we're going to go over and join them for a week, you know. But there'll be no pool involved. I don't think they'd let me, you know. So,
yeah. You just say you got to get out. You're just using the excuse. I've got to pop out for a bit.
Yeah. I was anything local, I might go. You know, I mean, when I say local, I mean I could go to the UK if there's a decent tournament to watch, or I think the European Open, I think it clashes with something I've got on here, so I can't go to that. And then I fancy going to Vietnam, but that clashes something over here as well, so I can't go to that either. Because I've been to Vietnam, I loved it. I love Asia. I'd go there a drop of a hat if I can.
I've never been out that way, Pete. It's lovely, is it?
You haven't? Oh my God! Have you been to the Philippines?
No, I haven't, mate. No, I've never travelled there. Do you know I'll tell you, I've got a really. Do you know, I won't go into it, but I've I don't know. Something I'll tell you face to face. Ask me about Asia next time. Why I don't travel. Well, I've been to Tokyo. Let me tell you a little story, Pete, about when I went to Tokyo.
Yeah.
You know, you talk about the electronic darts.
Yeah.
Well, I was playing Luke Salvez and Nick Vandenberg in Tokyo in about 2004. Then we've had Nick on one of my interviews that I done when I saw him in Austria last year, and he can vouch for this, right? He's on there. He's on record saying it as well. Get this, Pete. Right? There was in the tournament was Ephraim Reyes, Mika Immonen, Suke, Oliver Ortman, all the big guns at the time. You know, like around 2004, something like that. Well, anyway, on the final day, they had in the reception room, the big reception room, they allowed the public to come in and have like be around the players and get sort of autographs and things like that. Yeah. So a lot of people were around Ephraim Reyes and Bustamante and people like this, Ronnie Alcano. Yeah, obviously, naturally, Suke and things like that. Yeah. Well, I was playing, Nick Vandenberg and Luke Salvez were playing darts. So I walked up to Nick and I said, "Oh, Nick, all right, mate, can I have a quick go?" Now, I can tell you now, Pete, I cannot play darts. Right? He said, yeah, no worries. So, but they were just finishing off their game. So my first dart, I threw in a 60. Yeah. Second dart, 120. Now, I'm not joking. I've got the attention of Ortman, Suke, Mika Immonen, and the next dart, Pete, out of fucking pure luck, mate, I threw in a 180.
Wow.
And it was like, Gareth, how come you don't play? Well, you should play darts. I just said, do you know what? I've got to go now. I don't want to play anymore. Do you know what I mean? There you go, Pete. I'll tell you what. Nick Vandenberg can vouch for me, mate, that I do not play darts. I do, and I can't play darts. But I threw in a lucky 180, mate. How's that?
Wow. Was that on the electronic darts?
No, it weren't. It was on the main dartboard.
Oh, really? Oh, that's even more. Yeah. No,
pure luck, mate. Pure luck.
Yeah. Well, it happens, doesn't it?
It does, mate.
I was in a bar once, playing pool actually, and they had a couple of dart machines, and one of them had a fault. The centre wasn't registering, so the mechanic was there and he was fixing it. So anyway, he's got it all fixed. So I said, "Does it work?" He said, "Yeah." So I picked up a dart and I threw it straight in the centre. You know, I said, "Oh yeah, it works." Yeah. And that was a sort of luck as well, you know, because I wasn't even playing. But yeah, these things happen, don't they?
It's quality, isn't it? Yeah, easy.
So what else? What else have we got? I don't know. Oh, I'll tell you what. Another interesting thing happened to me back in. I can't remember the date. It'd be early 2000s. I meant to look it up. I got invited to give referee classes in Colombia. So they were having the World Games in Colombia a few years back. I meant to look it up. And they hadn't got any referees over there. So the Colombian Federation got in touch with the Spanish Federation, said, "Have they got anybody who could give them a hand?" So yeah, they sent me to Bogota to give referee classes. So yeah, that was another of my great trips. Yeah, I've had a few.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Oh, what era was that? What era was that, Pete?
I'm sorry?
What year was that?
I can't remember. I'd have to look it up. The World Games in Cali, Cali. It was early 2000s, probably 5, 6, 7, 8 thereabouts. So yeah, I was over there for 10 days or something. Got a nice group of people who all I had to do was show them the rules basically of 9-ball and you know how to be a referee, where to stand, etc., etc. Because it's not a big game in Colombia. The big game in Colombia is carom. I mean, they have massive clubs and nothing but carom tables. You know, they've got no pockets. They're no good to me. I don't like carom to play. You know,
I've never played it. Have you played it, Matt?
Are you talking about 3 cushion?
Yeah.
Is it yeah. No, I've not played it. I wouldn't mind playing it. I quite like the idea of it. I've seen people playing it. You know, got to apply a lot of spin on the ball, of course, and
if you're used to 9-ball or something, which is very fast and attacking game, the other one requires a lot of thinking, a lot of calculations. And of course, these guys, they use the little spots on the rails of the table.
Hold on, Pete. Have a look behind me. Here's me horse, mate. Look.
Oh, look at it. Oh, it's nice out there, isn't it, today?
Yeah, look. She wants a carrot. It's called asking her dad for a carrot, mate.
Yeah, well, give her one.
Yeah, I will. She'll have to wait. She'll have to. Yeah, go on, mate. Sorry, Pete. I interrupted you, mate.
No, it's all right. No, just talking about carom. As I say, I've tried playing it, but it's too complicated for my life. I like it things easy, you know. But some of these great players, well, like Danny Sanchez, the Spanish guy, and there's a Turkish guy, I can't think of his name offhand, who's fantastic. He does some great trick shots on the carom table, on the three cushion table. Oh, you should look him up. What's his name? But you know, he's got loads of videos on YouTube.
Yeah, I think I've seen the guy. I think I've seen the guy.
Oh, it's fantastic. You know, some of those shots, you wouldn't believe it. He's like
So, Pete, is carom probably the biggest cue sport in Spain?
No, I wouldn't say it's the biggest, but it's the one that gets most support from the official federation.
And why would you say that would be, Pete? Why is that?
I think most people who play it have got money for a start.
Right, okay.
And they're prepared to pay the fees to be in the federation. The problem is the federation is split up into communities, as we call them, as say, like counties, like Surrey, Kent, Essex, etc.
Yeah.
And each one has its own delegate from the Royal Federation. And most of them are really not interested in pool. They won't do anything for it. So it's people like us who do the stuff at a local level, who organise everything. One federation in the north of Spain, in Galicia, they're very helpful. They're very supportive of the pool. But the rest of Spain is not. All they want you to do is join the federation, and then they do nothing for it once they've taken your membership fee.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll give you an example. They had the Andalusian Championships a few months ago now. They had 9 players signed up for it, and 7 of them for one club, and that was the club where they were holding the tournament. I mean, it's just total disaster. So we have nothing to do with them because we do things so much better ourselves. I mean, our tour, if you come and see our little tournament, we play on a clock all the time. You've got like not a shot clock as such. We use chess clocks. So you get a certain amount of time to play your match, and it's like a chess clock. When you finish your turn, you hit the button, and the other guy's turn starts.
Yeah.
So then we have all the tables are linked up with a tablet, which go via the internet. We use Q-Score. You know Q-Score?
Yeah.
Where all the result, So everything goes directly to Q-Score via our tablets. And they all go through our central, well, in fact, the laptop I'm using now, they go through that. So it's pretty well organised. And what happened a few years ago, a friend of mine was playing a tournament in Alicante, which is Costa Blanca or Costa Brava, I can't remember now. It's on the East Coast anyway. And he was playing till 4 o'clock in the morning. I said, that's ridiculous, because he had to get up and play again at 9 the next morning. And I decided then, and it was my idea, we've got to control this somehow. So I went to Amazon and bought a chess clock, and we did trials in the club. How long does it take to play a game of 9-ball, 10-ball, 8-ball, etc.? And I keep all these statistics on my computer so I can calculate roughly, fairly accurately, how long it'll take to play a match. So we introduced this maybe 4 years, maybe 5 years ago now. So everybody comes to our club for a tournament, they know they're going to be playing on their time. And so we can finish at 10, 11 at night, which is reasonable. Then people want to have a few drinks and play some games for money or whatever they can do, But we didn't put people under pressure playing till, say, 3, 4 in the morning. So now, most of Spain are using shot clocks now. Because it's a really good idea, and it's helpful.
Yeah, we could do that over in the UK. There's so many slow players over here. Yeah, they just there's loads of them. I could name quite a few of them. They just absolutely take the mickey, Pete.
Well, here if they run out of time, they lose. Doesn't matter if they're winning 10-0, they lose. And so people are very conscious of the time. And all you've got to do is be conscious of it. When you finish a shot, don't stand scratching your head over the table. Why did I miss that shot? You get back to your table and press the button. you know. Otherwise, the other guy is going to be playing in your time, which you don't want. So it's a bit of an art. You get used to it after a while. We've only just recently introduced it to our 7-foot table, which are what we call second division players. You know, they play 8-ball on 7-foot tables. So I think we're on our 3rd tournament now with a shot clock. So they're getting used to it. So we give them, I mean, for example, next week, no, the 28th this month, they've got a tournament, and they're playing 9-ball, and they play a race to 5 in the early stages, and they get 30 minutes. So they've got 30 minutes to win 5 games, which is easily possible. You know, I mean, if you run the table, you're going to do it in about 2.5 minutes. So okay, you'll get one game with a few safety shots are necessary, and you'll go over 5 minutes, but the rest of them be under 5 minutes. So it works out fine. As I say, I keep a database. I keep track of tournaments all around the country who are using the system, and I can see what timings they've achieved in their tournaments. And then I apply that. In fact, I mean, I've got one here. In fact, I keep all these statistics of what time a game started. You can't see it very clearly. What time it started, what time it ended, how many games they played, how long it took, average per game, average per.
Sounds really interesting.
It is. Believe me, it works. So people say, "Oh, I can't finish a game. Can't finish a game in that time." When we were running trials, one of our guys, who's quite a fast player, I said, "No, we'll play 5 games." And he played 5 games in 13 minutes. You know, so it's easily possible in more than twice that time. You know. So what we do in September, I'll just tell you about September, because if you do come over, we play in 2
you can have me in, mate. I'm going to be with you, mate.
32, and you're going to play 2 groups of 32 until there are 8 left, and then the next day the 16 play each other in the money games. You know, so we use what we call it a European knockout system. I don't know where that name came from. So you can lose twice in the first 2 rounds. You can lose once in the first 2 rounds. After that, it becomes straight knockout. You know, you can't lose again. So you get a couple of chances. If you lose in the first round, you go on the loser's side. If you lose again, you're out. If you lose twice, you're out, obviously. If you won your first game and you go on the winner's side, if you lose that, you go over to the loser's side. So you still got another chance. So that's how we do all of our tournaments, and you know they all work pretty well. So yeah. Oh God, what else you got for me?
Well, what about Delgado and people like that? Are they heavily involved in the Spanish tour, or are they mainly sort of like exported out and play on like?
Nowadays they're really concentrating on their international career. Francisco Sanchez is playing in where are they, in Slovenia at the moment?
Yeah, European Championships.
Yeah, he's playing. He's the only one playing there. David Alcaide's not there, and Delgado's not there. I don't know where. Oh no, David actually was down here on holiday last week. He lives up in Salamanca, up towards the north of Spain, but he's from Malaga, which is where I am.
Yeah.
And so he comes down for holidays, see the family, etc. So he's having a break, and I think Fran was having a break, but he went for the European Championships. Don't think he's done anything at the moment. And Alberto, he's not playing there. I don't know where he is at the moment. And then we got the other kid who you would have seen in Italy, Jonas.
Suto. Yeah, Jonas Suto.
Young kid, playing really well. He beat Real Suto in Italy, and then he beat him again a few weeks ago somewhere else. So he's good.
Yeah, he's good player. What about Francesco Diaz? Whatever came of him?
At the moment, as far as I'm aware, he's in America, playing money games, I think, basically.
Right.
He was never he never got the sponsorship that people like Al-Qaeda and Sanchez, etc., got for various reasons. So, in general, he would have to pay his own expenses to go to tournaments, etc. So he never got the. He got one invite to World Cup of Pool in the Philippines a number of years ago, In fact, I had to intervene in that because I used to liaise with Luke Richards over the Spanish players, because I say none of them spoke English in those days, so they used to do it all through me. And yeah, I had to put in a good word for Francisco Diaz one year to play instead of David, because David hadn't had a good season. So he played with Fran Sanchez, but they didn't do anything. He's not really a team player. He's a great individual player, you know, a lot of talent, but for a team, he wasn't so great. But anyway, for the last 6 months, as far as I'm aware, he's been in the States. But I think he's coming back because he signed up for the September tournament, so he'll be playing that. He won it last year, actually.
Oh, so right, so he's coming back for that then.
So he'll be back for that. Yeah, he gets invited because he won it, so he gets up. Cool. He gets up for nothing.
and that's in Malaga, is it, Pete?
Yeah, yeah. It's great, Malaga.
What's the name of
Sorry?
Go on, mate. Yeah, go on.
No, I'm going to say Malaga is 15 minutes from the airport. You know, the venue or the city of Malaga is 15 minutes from the airport in a taxi. So it's really close, very convenient for anybody in Europe, because they can fly to Malaga from virtually any country, you know.
Yeah, sure. Like I want to come to that, Pete. So I'll drop you. I'll drop you a line, and yeah, we'll have that. What's the name of the club, Pete?
It's called Voyer. I've got a shirt on now. I don't know if you can see it. Let's have a look. Can you see that?
What's that? As long as you've got a pair, Pete, as long as you've got a pair of trousers on, stand up, mate.
You've got a pair of shorts on.
We can see balls on the shirt on the back.
Voyer, V-O-E-R. Yeah. And
sorry, spell that again.
No, my best friend.
V-O-E-R, I think you said, didn't you?
V-O-E-R. Yeah.
Yeah. Vor.
As I say, the owners are great friends of mine. In fact, one of the owners was the owner of the club that I first played in when I started to play pool back in '95. We've been friends 30 years now, you know. So I work with those guys. So there, can't think of anything else now.
Well, I tell you what, Pete, I think you
yourself. I mean,
must have had the time.
Well, it's been great. I mean, listen to all this. I mean, and that tournament that you're talking about in September, I'm definitely going to consider it myself. I think, you know, if it's only 15 minutes to the airport, me and Gareth can come over and you know, show our skills.
Yeah, come over for 4 or 5 days. You know, we can play some in the club. The tournament actually starts on a Friday afternoon with the pairs tournament, but at the moment.
Oh, we're waiting for a dropout on that one, aren't we, Gareth, for a guest appearance on that one?
Yeah. Well, if you get, exactly.
I'm just going to check, see if there's any. Yeah, see, I'm full. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, Pete, how many runners have you got in the main event?
There'll be 64.
How many you got so far?
30. Let's have a look. I've got 34. I've got another 12 or 14 to put down. I keep them all on my phone. Oh, you can't see.
Right, okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Can you put my name on there now, Pete? Because I'll come and just tell us.
I'll save you a couple of spots. Don't worry.
All right, yeah, all right, yeah. And then I'll have to
invite you to the entry fee. I won't charge you the entry fee. So there you go. There's an incentive.
Oh, you're a boy, you are, Pete. You know, I like your style, mate. I like. Yeah, sure, Pete.
You may have seen some of the players that are coming. You know, when we get there, because you know a lot of our players they played around different tournaments and Euro tours and things. You know, so
yeah, sure.
They make you feel. Well, like I say,
absolutely. Well, when you've got players of the caliber of Diaz entering it, it's obviously a top quality tournament. It's got top quality field.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, yeah, great player. David and Fran used to play, but as I say, these days they're just doing so much abroad that they hardly play anything in Spain now. So they always used to come down and play. I've got I just signed up 6 Portuguese players today. I don't know if you know Jorge Tinoco. You probably know Enrique Correa. He's won the European Seniors Tournament, I don't know how many times, you know. Great player.
Right.
You know, it's good quality field.
What tables do they use there, Peter, at the club?
We use dynamic tables.
What, 2s or 3s?
Mostly 2s. I've just got one 3.
That's what I've got one myself, a dynamic 2, so I've got an advantage.
Oh, okay. We use Simonis 860 cloth, Aramith balls.
Oh,
Are the pockets like 4.5 inch, 4 1/4? Are they?
Yeah. They're big enough you can't miss, to be honest.
Oh, you don't know map. You don't know map.
Hey, Peter, I'm going to send you. I'll send you a link to some of the drills I do on the table, Peter, after on the messenger on Facebook, so you can have a watch some of the stuff I've been up to on there. But
yeah, great.
I've got
great.
I'll send you. I've 4 1/4 the pocket.
We stream out. Well, we stream 4 tables on YouTube. So, like in a couple of weeks' time, on the 28th, when we've got a tournament, there'll be 4 of the tables will be streamed onto YouTube.
Yeah.
So you can always, check in and see how it's going.
So,
drop us a link. Drop us a link for that, Pete, because we'd like to put it on. We'll advertise it on our Facebook, just so people can see it. You know, just to just so people can get a feel for what the Spanish tours like. That'd be great.
I'll send you the poster. You know.
Send us that. Now. Put it on. Well, when you're ready,
I'll send you the poster. I won't send you. We have what they call a convocatoria, which are like the rules of the tournament, but it's 5 pages and it's all in Spanish, so I don't, not much point sending you that. But I'll send you the poster, and you stick that on the website.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
that'd be great, mate.
Yeah.
Right. Time for my bed. Was it?
Well, no, it's 9 o'clock our time. Oh, this is the thing. Time flies when we're talking on these things, but it's been great. I mean, I'm like I say, I'm really interested in this tournament now. I'm going to have a word with the wife and see if I can get some time
bring her over
to come over. But I know, be by the sound.
The weather should be great. You know, weather should be okay. End of September. I mean, it's bloody hot at the moment. You don't want to come at the moment. I'm sweating sitting here. Yeah.
Just chucking it down where I am.
And we're expecting the next couple of days. We're expecting 40 degrees, so it's got to get a bit hotter.
Oh, really?
Unfortunately.
Well, Pete, I tell you what, Pete. You know what? Like you say, time's flying on, mate. It's bedtime now, mate. And I just want to thank you for coming on our show, mate. It's been great having you on, taking us down memory lane.
I'm surprised we've been talking so long, actually. I just looked at the clock and I thought, wow, been talking for an hour.
I know, yeah. Well, no, it's been great.
You got your missus over your shoulder saying, come on, come on.
Supper time now.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there, mate. Well, Pete, thanks so much for coming on, mate. I know it was a lot, sort of a last minute, over the past week we've organised it. It's been great having you on here to talk about memory lane and some of the people that we both know and met throughout the years and who's long gone and who's still here. So,
and it's great to see. I mean, there's still people around that I met back in 30 years ago. And they're all still playing, and some of them at a very high level. So that's great.
Yeah.
Well, anyway,
it's good you're still kicking. It's good you're still kicking, Mr. April. Good you're still kicking.
I should send you that poster tomorrow, and then we'll talk about the September.
Brilliant.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Well, all the best. Go on, man.
Yeah, no, I was just saying, brilliant. Yeah, we'll have a look at that, and all the best for the future events, and hopefully we'll see you in September in person.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, be really pleased to see you. Yeah,
Pete, you're a legend, Pete. Thanks for coming on. We'll speak to you soon.
Yeah, my pleasure.
All right.
Okay.